Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekend Rental. We are your gaming and geek culture podcast. As always, my name is Ryan, and I'm joined by Andy.
Hey.
And Biff.
Congratulations, guys.
Yes, we did it. Episode 100. Here it is. It's our highest numbered episode yet.
Triple digits.
Yes. All right. As always, if you enjoy our content, you can enjoy a plethora of geeky related content over at geekade.com. What's your geek? So we thought long and hard about what we were going to do for the 100th episode. Something having to do with 100 would have made sense, but how do you do that? 100 memories, 100 games. It's too much for one episode. So what we decided to do was, instead of a top 100 list, we're going to do a top 10 list, because it's only 10 away from 100, so it makes sense. And what we're doing is our top 10 desert island games. So we all decided we would each come up with our own individual top 10 lists, and then we are going to argue it out and merge it down to one communal top 10 list. A few ground rules: no compilation games, there's no Mario All-Stars, there's no whatever collection, and we can only have one entry from a franchise on the list altogether. So
it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad really fast.
Yes. We have not discussed our strategies behind our picks or what we have. So I think the first thing to do is just let's let the rage slowly settle in as we share our picks. We all are gamers, but we have very different opinions.
Do you want to do it one by one or like?
Oh, that's a yes. Maybe that's a good idea. Let's go around the horn. And full disclosure, mine is not ordered like number 1 to 10 for me. It's just random. Andy, why don't you start with your first one?
Sure. So I'll start with one that I'm pretty sure probably won't make the list.
Okay.
And that's going to be The Last of Us. I absolutely love that game, but, it's mostly story, but I really love the gameplay in it as well. And I think it would be a pretty good game, but, I know you guys don't necessarily feel the same about.
What about the replayability on that one, being it is so scripted?
Sure. I mean, that definitely has that, aspect where I almost didn't put it on the list, because once you experience the story once, you definitely lose part of it. But I really do love the gameplay of it, the stealth mode of it. But if we're just, that's tough too, because even if you're talking just stealth gameplay, then, it's Metal Gear Solid 5. That's like the ultimate. I was
just going to say, you're making me feel guilty because I didn't put Metal Gear on here and I wanted to so bad. But I was like, no, it's a one and done sort of thing, or 2-3 times maybe. But
yep. But I think I don't think it's a strong contender even on my list overall either. So
okay, I think you would have some people agreeing with you. That game definitely has its hardcore fan base, and I did like what I played. Just the anxiety, I couldn't deal with it.
That might be better than the anxiety of being on a desert island. So
that's true.
Not be that bad.
Yeah. Did we mention that this would be desert island games, basically, right?
Yes. So, yep. So 10 games. So ultimately, what we're trying to do is get to the 10 games we can all agree upon. That would be your desert island games. Stuck with them for the rest of your life. You're not going anywhere. You need something to play. What do you do? That's an interesting and good first pick. How about you, Biff?
I think this one's pretty obvious. It should be on everyone's list. If it's not on everyone's list, I'm cutting you out of my life. Super Mario Brothers 3. The replayability is huge, and that's really what I focused on this list, is replayability. And so there's always new hidden things. Music never gets old. The mechanics never get old. It had to be Super Mario Brothers 3.
Oh man, I can't believe we're going here already.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's simple.
Well, I don't know if anyone's going to argue that too much. It's a classic. I mean, there's always the Blue Album Pinkerton debate between 3 and World, but I'm a 3 fan.
Okay, well, then you got outnumbered me. I had World on mine, but
I knew someone was going to pick that. I almost picked it.
Let's not get too far ahead. So
okay.
I'm going to go to my first one up, and I'm actually going to go the second one on my list here. Again, not ordered, but the first pick I'm going to disclose with you guys. I thought long and hard about what Mario, because Mario had to be on here, right? You had to represent the best platformer. I'm a fan of the 2D ones versus the 3D ones. So if I'm stuck on a desert island, what platformer in the Mario world is going to stand out and be the one I want to replay over and over and over again? And then I'm thinking, okay, best 2D platformer. And then it dawned on me that Rayman Legends is a superior game in almost every way to the best Mario outings. So fuck Mario. He's not on the list.
Shut up.
Rayman Legends would be the platformer I would keep.
That's my first serious? Pick. There's no Mario on your list.
Not a Mario game.
I don't even know you.
Wow.
Rayman Legends.
I mean, I get
Rayman Legends.
Phenomenal.
I can back you on that one. That's.
I don't approve of this at all. This one, I hope you are joking. I'm getting mad now.
This is my thought process as to how I got to it. I was like, I think I genuinely love the overall package, presentation and control, variety of gameplay and challenge better. There's more there. It's almost a perfect platforming game.
What game have you played more? Super Mario Brothers 3 or Rayman Legends?
Okay, that's not fair because Rayman Legends has been out for a shorter amount of time.
That's not my problem.
Yeah, hundreds of hours into both is probably the right answer. Yeah, we've played a F-ton of Legends.
As far as secrets go, what do you think is more rewarding?
Legends.
Think so? Okay.
Yeah. I like the difficulty curve.
You know every
too.
secret in Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, thanks to the wizard. Knew it before I played it.
Dang it. You're on a desert island. You can't go back to watch the video. You're going to have to start all over again.
All right. Well, now that I have thoroughly piffed Biff off, Andy, what's number 2?
Yeah. Well, plus, that one has that soccer game in there, and I played a shit ton of that too.
I thought about that, and then I was just like, I could go the rest of my life without 3, but I can't go the rest of my life without that bam bam level on fucking Rayman. I was like, I need that in my life. I just want to play that endlessly. So
I don't even want to finish this podcast right now. I'm so upset.
Yeah.
Depends on is there other people on this island with you? Because they have to listen to Black Betty over and over and over again. They might be.
Yeah. I think it's a solo endeavor.
Okay.
Which kind of takes some of the wind out of the sails in the soccer game, but I'd still enjoy it.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
So kick it off.
All right. Well, if we're talking 2D platformers, I'll say Mario World was on mine. I never got into Mario 3 all that much, I guess. I never had it personally. Obviously played it at a lot of friends' house, but the same situation with World. I just played that one more, and it ended up having more of a one-on-one time with that game more. And I really love that game, from the Star World to all the crazy secrets in that game. Yeah, it's pretty creative, and the graphics were awesome at that time.
Yeah, I always thought that game was a little ugly. Like, it wasn't the visual upgrade I wanted. That's why I always wanted there to be a traditional sequel. But yeah,
really?
It just, I don't know. It just felt a little washed out. It felt like Mario 3 Plus. Not that I didn't love World a lot, but I don't know. When you look at what they accomplished later on the Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah, it's no comparison.
World feels kind of like a weak graphical entry, but it set the blueprint for a lot of things. What about you, Biff? Number 2?
I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys. Okay. Probably one that is not on your list. Beat Saber.
Wow. That should be on my list.
The replayability on that, there's something with, there's multiple, experience levels. The music is energetic. I felt like that would have
Yeah.
I mean, that's one you could go back to, assuming that you get all the DLCs, all the
tough part
album
for
drops,
you
all
on,
that stuff.
On your island is you wouldn't have a VR, so that'd be really disappointing.
Well, I don't
to
have
you.
one in my current island, so it's
That's
somewhere.
a good pick, though.
Yeah, I was thinking Beat Saber. That was, so I don't have VR obviously anymore. It's a sore subject, but that was one. Thanks, man. I'm really having a terrible day with this podcast already. But that was a game that, like, I didn't care about any other VR game. I just didn't want to play them. They weren't comfortable to me. And most of the time, my stomach was turning and you just feel like sweaty, lightheaded. That was the one game that I never felt that way. You know, I was just engaged the whole time.
Plus, you're getting music plus exercise on this island. So
that's right.
That's a solid pick.
I mean, you won't. You'll be losing weight anyways because there's no food on the island, just video games. Apparently,
it's true.
Which one of the top 10 games to eat?
Yeah, I'll do a weird out there one too, since we're following that. I don't even want to have this one on here, but when it was presented to me in a conversation, I was like, "Well, okay, somebody has to put this down." And that's Minecraft.
Oh no.
That game's like endlessly playable. If I got all the time in the world, I'm going to build like the Starship Enterprise. And
my son told me to put that on the list. I was like, no, you're dumb. No
son's
way.
A genius.
No way would I ever play that.
It's on my list too.
Oh yeah. It means it's up for consideration. Probably making the list.
Probably not.
Yeah. I just, it's so varied. You can do so much. You can make whatever in it. It's just a relax and chill game. You know, it's kind of the perfect endless adventure. More fun with friends, but in a desert island situation, I think it works.
Yeah, there's not much games that out there that are like that, where you just like pick it up and play. You know,
right?
Just it's like a warm blanket.
I still haven't played it.
Should probably try that.
No, I'm not interested.
Maybe Rayman Legends while you're at it too.
Shut up. Not interested in that garbage.
Do the Wii U version, then you get all the pad things too.
There you go. Well, Andy, you've kind of already revealed a third, but what's a number 4 then, I guess?
Sure. Let's do one with a 4 in it. I'm picking Persona 4.
I knew it was going to be as soon as you said with a 4. I'm like, it ain't going to be GTA 4. I know that much. Okay.
I do have another one with a 4 in it, but we'll go with Persona 4 this time. I think out of all Japanese RPGs, that is the top. So I don't have any Final Fantasies on my list.
Wow.
No Dragon Quests. That's the
Kingdom
top.
Hearts.
So, like, which version?
Wow.
Is this like Persona 4 Golden Plus Hyper Street Sweeper Edition? Or?
I mean, I probably should do that one. I didn't play those, but I'm guessing that's probably the best route.
Get all the content.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, that's.
I mean, that's like 100+ hour game, right? That should do you pretty well on an island.
Right. And it's one of those things where it's like a time management thing too. So you can't possibly get it all. So it does have some replayability of saying like, okay, this time I'm going to focus on just playing basketball a lot, you know, after school.
You can play basketball in that game?
Well, not really. It's
you go to play basketball and watch them?
Yeah, and then you talk to your basketball friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Biff?
I'd be surprised if this was not on your list. You introduced it to me, and I've kind of fallen in love with the game, and that is Diablo 3. Yep, love that game. However, you're not going to... I don't know about the online play, if we can play, if we can't, but those riffs, that's where it's at. I don't know if I'm playing that game right, but it's fun. I like it.
Yeah, 100%. And that was on my list also.
Well, that makes me feel better that we're semi together on that.
Yeah, I could not have that on my list. When I think about games that I've sunk hundreds of hours into, and like I'm always happy to go back into and pick up again, that is very high on the list. That's a good one. Yeah. it was that or World of Warcraft, and I was like, no, if we're not doing online play, I can't do World of Warcraft. So I just took it out. Another one from me. This probably shouldn't surprise anyone. It is a little weird maybe for this list. But I did put Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on there. I needed a Tony Hawk game. That's my favorite in the franchise. I know that's not everybody's favorite, but
Can you play that one a lot?
Game so many. I used to play it every year. I'd go through and 100% it with all the characters. It's been a while since I've been good enough. You know, I had a few year gap and I lost kind of the placement for a lot of the stuff. But yeah, good one. Yeah, I mean, I can just set that to the school level on free skate and just go for like 3 hours. Just zone into it and whatever track is looped endlessly. Maybe pick the Dreamcast version so that I can change tracks on the fly. It's probably the way to go, but I don't know. I don't know how far that one will get on this list, but I had to include it.
Interesting pick.
Andy?
All right. Okay. So I picked a game that I played a shit ton. And that's Gran Turismo 3.
Okay.
I think a racing game with a billion different cars and a billion ways to tune it. It's probably a good distraction on a desert island.
I was thinking Forza for you.
Yeah, you know, I've slowly turned into a Forza person, but you know, I played a lot of the original Gran Turismos, and then when it came out on PS2, I bought the bundle with that. That was my main game on PS2 for a long time.
Nice.
And it looked awesome. Played it forever. A lot of fun.
And 3 was the one that came out relatively on time, right? Was it the PS3 era where they were like 3 years behind and they released that like prelude or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. PS2 was shortly after launch.
Okay. That's what I thought. That's a good pick. Yeah. I hadn't considered it a Gran Turismo, but yeah, I mean, that's almost endless. It's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Like, obviously, Forza Horizon 4 is probably a better game. Probably one to really zone out in as well. But
yeah,
there's just something about that.
I almost picked that one for just a variety. I don't play that one a ton, but, you know, I want a driving game.
What about you, Biff?
All right. This is one that I've been playing quite a bit lately for a specific reason, and that's Darius Burst Chronicles. Let's just drop that giant cab right in the sand, and I am...
It's like Shelter. You can live in it.
It's Shelter. You can live in it. When you feel lonely, you can turn that sub up. I think
Giggity.
That's mine. And if you don't let me have the arcade cabinet, then I'll be okay with the PS4 version.
I'm just picturing Biff laying like tummy down across that bench and just letting the bass roll on this island. That's all that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had to go with Darius Burst. That's just one that I don't care how many times you play through it. I don't know. It's a good game. I like it.
I came very close to making my list too, but I couldn't. I wanted to have a shooter, but I didn't know that I could. It got kicked down eventually. That's a good one though. I'll go with one. Since we're just talking about racing, I also thought a virtually endless racer would be the way to go. And then if you think about the types of games like that you can play a ton are open world games and racing games that have tons of depth and characters and cars. So what better than a game that does both? And I went with Burnout Paradise, the remaster. Just because
that is not what I thought you were going to say.
It can be a racing game. It can be a stunt game. It can be a chase game. Or you can just drive around and do dumb stuff. So yeah.
It's got all the dumbest pop punk in the world too. With the soundtrack.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, eventually I would probably end my tenure on that island after having to listen to Paradise City for the 8 millionth time
Yeah,
booting
yes.
that game up, I would probably just off myself. But until then, it would be okay. Yeah, it does have that soundtrack. That's right. Kind of forget.
It's a good pick. I mean, it's definitely up there as one of the best racing games. And for sure, the variety adds a lot to that game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a unique experience. It's kind of sad too that the remake got kind of overlooked. Like it had a little bit of hype, but then it just dropped and it was $5 instantly because it's an EA thing, right?
Yep.
Okay. Next pick for you, Andy.
All right. We'll get to the section where I almost picked Sonic 2, and then I thought about how I would have to keep playing Sonic 2 the rest of my life. It's like, maybe not.
So
I was in that
Sonic
same
2
boat
Adventure.
So I dropped Sonic 2 and I went with Skyrim, which is
Okay.
just basically the most, gigantic RPG that you could find. That's pretty much endless. So it's hard to argue with that.
I've sunk
Yeah.
a lot of minutes into that game, at least 15 of them.
I've bought it and not opened it for PS4. That's about. I guess it'd be crazy if that didn't appear in one of our lists. I think that game has stood the test of time and still gets played constantly, imported to everything. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's even in like the top 10 greatest games of all time. It just kind of brute forces it on to a lot of these lists because of the scale of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. Biff?
So the racing game that I thought you were going to pick, and it might be already on your list, you said you want depth, a lot of vehicles, a lot of characters, and it was Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I was going to go with Double Dash, but I just feel like 8 Deluxe is a little more superior. So you got to have a Mario Kart game. I was a little concerned with the rules at first that a Mario Kart game counted as a Mario game. And then we were going to screw ourselves because there's too many of those. But yeah, Super Mario Kart 8. That's one on my list.
Oh, man, I didn't know that.
If I had the same dilemma. I was like, I need a Mario Kart, but I didn't know which one to go with. And ultimately I did settle on 8 also. So that's on my list. There's just so much there, especially with all the DLC that comes with Deluxe.
Yep.
Endless fun. Plus they fixed the Battle Royale mode. Not that you'd be able to enjoy that too much on your own on a desert island, but yeah. Well, another one up on my list. I'm getting a lot of ones you guys have here, so I'm running out, but I went with kind of, to me, I guess, an obvious choice. The granddaddy of open world experiences, Sandbox, Grand Theft Auto. That series has been around forever. If I'm going to go with one, I'm going to go with 5. I could make a case for some of the other ones, but I think there's just a lot to do in 5. And it's one of the best stories in games. And then beyond that, there's just a whole bunch of stuff to do. Plus, let's be honest, I'm going to get really lonely on this desert island. I know those character models in that strip club aren't anything to write home about, but I'm going to need some of that after a few months on this island. So it's a dual purpose game for sure.
I see.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5.
That one I was thinking you were going to pick for sure.
How many months do you think it would take, or even days, on a desert island alone before you actually turn into Trevor?
Oh boy, not long at all. Inside of 6 months, probably. Depends on how much salt water I've been drinking, right? All right, Andy, what's your next one?
I'm pretty dumb, and I picked a game that basically takes about 2.5 hours to play.
Oh, no.
And that's Journey, which is probably my favorite game of all time.
Okay.
And I just don't think I could not have it with. It's something to me just transcends games a little bit. And I don't know. I think it'd be something nice to just look at. I don't know. It's kind of like a nice art piece to have on an island.
Yeah,
it's
a little
nice
bit
decoration.
Of zen.
Yeah.
I could see that. I've never had the experience that you did with Journey, but millions of people have. And I had a similar experience with Brothers, so I could totally see you doing that. And I mean, the game is a little bit different each time because of your encounters along the way as far as people popping in. So
Sure.
I mean, might be a little salt in the wound with all the sand everywhere when you're stuck on a desert island,
Yeah.
but
So probably prettier sand than what I'm looking at.
yeah. Biff, how about you?
I think, I mean, you guys are talking about those experience games. You were talking about Journey. You know, you're talking about Brothers. I'm talking about Fortnite.
Get the fuck out of here right
That
now.
is an experience. Okay, so I need a shooter that I can play. At first, I was thinking, okay, I have the online experience. So if that is an option, I feel that that's a game you can really sink some hours in. They're changing and updating all the time. I got to go with Fortnite. It's on the list. My son approved that list and said, yes, that's a game you have to have on. You guys don't play it. You don't understand it. Nor do I, but I need it.
Does it still have the like survival mode that they were originally building?
Yeah,
yeah,
I
they
think
do.
it's still there. Which would be the only mode you'd be able to play then, right? Offline.
Dang it. Well, then take it off the list. Shoot.
I think that would be a bummer because you'd always know what's happening out somewhere else. They're like, oh shit, they made another Batman movie? Damn it.
That's how you figure it out.
Yeah. I'm missing out on all these amazing things.
Through some crappy characters.
Oh.
Yeah, it had, for me, it had to hit the list. When we talk about games that we've sunk some time into, that's what I play with my son. So, had to pick it.
Yeah. If internet's an option, that's a solid game.
We should have determined
like you said,
that.
it's always a new game. Yeah, we kind of were loosey-goosey with the ground rules. I mean, I'd say we could change that for you, but I know there's no way in hell that Andy and I are letting that onto the list, so you're okay.
You know I'll fight as much as I can, though. I'll get scrappy. Rayman Legends.
It's a good pick.
That's garbage.
You're garbage.
Probably.
Fortnite.
I like how I led into it, guys. You have an experience, Fortnite.
So since we're talking about shooters, I felt like I had to have a first-person shooter on my list too, and I needed something that was representative of that genre. And then I got to be thinking, I went down the rabbit hole of like, okay, if internet's not an option, what's the one that I could have the most fun with replaying? And I finally just kind of settled on Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. Oh, yeah. I'm not into the Halo franchise like I used to be, but I have played that campaign dozens of times through, and I still enjoy it. And there's difficulty settings, and that's the one I kind of went with. It's kind of out there. I don't know that everyone else would have picked that. I mean, there's been a lot of updates and progression in the first-person shooter genre since. I feel like the Halo formula is kind of outdated, but I think there's a little bit of nostalgia in there that would just keep that fresh for me if that was my one game.
Yeah, I could see it.
I wanted the Master Chief Collection, but
yeah,
I knew that was cheating. Andy, what do you got for us?
I think it'd be pretty hard to make a list like this if you're a Pokemon fan and not pick Pokemon, because it's kind of tailor-made for this. Just a gigantic game where you could spend endless amount of time just catching everything, then catching shiny versions of that, and then, basically doing it forever. And so I think I'm going to go with Fire Red, because that contains it to the original ones that I like.
I thought you were going to say Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I was like, you better hope there's a gym on that island, or that's the sweetest setup ever. Yeah. No one will ever overtake your gym.
Yeah, that's pretty great. No, I picked Fire Red. It's a remake of the very first original ones, and I think that's probably my wheelhouse. You could probably get more time out of the newer ones, maybe, because they have a million of them now. But I don't know. I think that would be the
What did Fire Red release on?
That was a Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
So it's got pretty enough graphics and, all of the kind of nice to have updates and quality of life things, where going back to that original one, it's like, oof, this is.
Yeah.
It was awesome then, but it's a little rough now.
That's a good pick. Yeah. Lots of options there. I'm surprised you didn't go for like the new and fresh though.
Yeah, I
with the
don't
classic.
know. Every time I jump back in, I'm like, yeah, it's this, but it's just too much going on, too much of it, and they all look like dumb shit now. Where it's just like they look around the room and like, let's make a Pokemon out of that thing, and
right. Yeah, that's a fair point. All right,
so
Biff.
I have to pick an open world game, and if I'm on a desert island,
I already know what you're picking.
I'm going to get very, very sensitive. I'll miss you guys. And so I need something that's going to remind me of you guys all the time. And that's Red Dead Redemption 2.
That is not what I was expecting.
That is a game that, yes, we have a pretty terrible experience with, but I've played a lot of it. I've played through it a couple of times, and it's good. I mean, it's one of those open world games that you can go everywhere and interact with different characters. And I think there's a lot of depth to the story, minus the island. Let's cut that.
Yeah.
But
maybe some of the racist terms used, maybe.
Also that. But yeah, I think that a game could hold up for a long time. I mean, very similar to your GTA.
Yeah,
I think it's just there's a lot of depth to it.
Scratches that same itch for sure. And then for anyone who, if you're joining us for the 100th and you've not been following us for a long time, so kind of what Biff is referring to there was when Red Dead 2 launched, we as a collective podcast group decided
as
that we
idiots
would get it day of launch, assuming it was about a 25-hour game campaign. We would start it the morning of launch, and we would sit down, stream it, and play it all through together, one sitting. We didn't accomplish that goal. We lasted 36 hours about.
And it was awful.
It became hell. And I have not, I went back in to play the last 90 minutes of that game that we didn't do together. And then I've never touched it again because I hate it. And it ruined my life.
Yeah, it puts a bad taste in your mouth when you play it like that. But even there was a couple of times with like going back to it, my stomach, you could just feel in certain sections like it kind of turning, where I picture you snoring like crazy and farting, and Andy in the corner eating a whole bunch of pizzas. Like there's moments that my stomach hurts when I play the game, but it's still good.
Yeah, it was good. All right, well, I'm kind of down to just 2 left on the list to talk about. I'll go with the next one. I couldn't think of a more endlessly playable game in this particular genre than this one. So I went with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Ooh.
It is, not only is it a nostalgia piece and a museum of everything I love about Nintendo, but even without other people to play it with, it's got great AI, it's got challenges, it's got like the whatever the world thing is this go around, and just so many characters that mastering them all, if you had that kind of time on a desert island, it would be fun.
That's a good choice. I almost went that way. But I don't play it as much as you do.
And it's a tough one because the best part of that game is ultimately playing with friends, but I think I could get by with CPU and have a good time.
Well, look at all those amiibos you could bring with you.
Oh, gosh.
You could have your...
If you could like take one with you, which one would it be?
It's amiibos.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll hollow out a volleyball and just stick an amiibo in it and set it on the Switch. Thanks, Wilson.
Andy, you got another one?
I'm down to 2 as well. I'll probably go with, let's say, Civilization 4.
Oh, I almost picked a Civ game. Nice.
Those games would probably make me forget that I'm actually on a desert island. So that's probably the best part of it.
Yeah, the days go fast. I'm just going to play one game 3 weeks later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I couldn't think of a more game that grabs your attention for endless hours without you knowing it. And that seems like the best type of time killer for an island. Plus, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of us are having the same type of picks where you could pick the newest one and probably have a better time, or you pick the nostalgia one. I mean, I started with 2, but I think 4 hits the sweet spot of, good mechanics and, a lot of nostalgia for me. So that's the one I went with.
Was it 4 or was it 5 that got adapted to consoles really well? Was it 5, right? On like the 360 era, or was that 4?
It was kind of in between. I think it was right before 5. They made the Revolution game.
Okay, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yep.
Yes. That one I'm a big fan of on console.
Yep. Now I think Civ 6 is on like Switch, right?
Yeah, I think I got it for like $2 when we did our round trip or whatever.
Yep.
Good pick. Really good pick. I was so close to that myself. Biff, what do you got left?
I got 3 left on my list.
Okay. You can do 2 now if you want.
All right, I'll hit you with 2 because they kind of fall in the same realm.
Okay.
I mean, one is a very obvious pick for me, and that's Breath of the Wild. You got to have a Zelda game. That's the biggest one. Going for it. Enough
That's also
said there.
on my list, so you took out my last one. So
I took out my last one too. So
and then I had one that's fairly similar, and it's just because I had kind of a cool experience being one of the first PS4 games, and that was Horizon Zero Dawn. I think there's some depth to that, and you're on a desert island. You're not going to use the fast travel. You're going to travel the whole way just to take it all in.
That reminded me of you texting me while you were playing that game, and you're like, man, yeah, I'm trying to get to here, and blah, it's taking forever. You got to travel all the way back. I'm like, why aren't you using the fast travel? What do you mean fast travel? Like, go into your inventory and make a fast travel kit.
Yeah, didn't know that.
Well, you figured it out relatively early in, at least.
Oh, man. And then the last game that's on my list, and my guess is it's probably going to get booted out, Mega Man 2. I just feel I needed a game that I can throw a controller in the sand and get pissed and scream. And maybe after being on a desert island, I might get good at those invisible blocks that pop in and out. And maybe I could become a legend that no one will know about playing that game.
Okay.
That's my list.
That's the most far out one I think that you've had. It's a brutally difficult game.
It is. I've played that one a lot. I like it. So
it's a good one. Okay. So we might as well start. We got to do our combined list now. So let's start by talking about the ones that we have. We all 3 had Breath of the Wild. It's an automatic hit.
Yeah.
Should we place that at number 1? I mean, I guess we don't have to order them necessarily, but Breath of the Wild for sure makes the list.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. So the other ones that we collectively, or at least 2 of us had, Diablo 3. Any objections to that being on the list?
No.
Okay.
That's a good
point. Andy, you didn't have that one on your list?
I didn't, but I have enjoyed Diablo games in the past. I actually like Marvel Heroes, I think, which was an online version of that. And
really?
I really got into that one a lot.
Interesting.
But that was one that was on PS4, right? And like you were talking about it, and I installed it, and then a week later they're like, "We're taking it offline." I was like, "Son of a bitch."
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we also had 2 hits on Mario Kart 8, right? I think I want that one on the list.
Are we only going with one genre? No,
we don't have to go. It doesn't have to be genre specific.
I feel like that one needs to be on there.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Andy didn't agree, did you?
I'm not going to fight you about it, but I probably wouldn't put it on the list.
Well, then we can't put it on the list.
Well, just because of the balance. Like
the balance of what? Being
a
great game?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to throw controllers, if you got really good at the game, you would just have blue shells all the time, right? If you're playing by yourself, it would just be constant blue shells lodged at you.
That is true.
Yeah. Man, you're making me rethink.
Let's hold off on that.
I'm going to put a question mark next to it. Yeah, that's not a given.
I think if there's 2, it has to be on the list.
You make some sense. I don't know if it does have to. We just need 2 to.
I think we just need 2
to agree. And now you're making me think that maybe I'm screwing up. So that's going to be a question mark.
Let's table that for a moment.
Yep.
I know that we all 3 have Fortnite, so we can just go ahead and
and
just drop that on there.
We also had 2 hits on Minecraft.
ugh, gross.
I don't know that I'm willing to bend on that. Shouldn't be on there.
It shouldn't be on there.
Oh man,
it's not even a game. It's
literally a game within a game.
Something.
Have you played it?
I watch my kids play it, and I don't understand it. It's this weird square guy that runs around with a triangle, and
his name's Minecraft Steve,
and he's like slapping it against things, and things go flying. That's all I know.
You just described an adult film.
All of us. The people that have played Minecraft are going to have a much easier time on a island just because of the experience of
they're going to be hunting like crazy.
I'm going to be finding redstone and flint all over the place. It's going to be a cakewalk. Yeah. I think that makes the list.
All right.
I think it has to too.
I think we have 3 for sure that are on the list. I could be convinced on Mario Kart 8 either way, but
well, I think we just need to go after a platform of Super Mario Brothers 3 has to be on that list. It has to be on that list. Let's just get this fight over with, because I know. So here's my dilemma, that I have to get over Rayman Legends, and then we have to get over Super Mario World on top of that. So
I don't know. I'm kind of in the Rayman Legends boat.
Oh my gosh.
I kind of think it's a better game.
So you're going to be on a whole desert island and never think of Mario ever again?
No, I'll see him in Smash, because that'll maybe make the list. I mean, here's the conclusion that I came to with this.
Okay with this
is I knew that 2D Mario was going to be the platformer I was going to choose, but then when I really thought about it, Rayman Legends is a better polished extension of what those 2D games are. Plus, Legends includes a lot of Origins. So you're kind of getting a 2 for 1. It is very difficult, especially near the end.
Mm-hmm.
So you get plenty of challenge. And then there's all sorts of unlockables. You get the bonus soccer game. You get 1,000,001 characters. You get those music levels. I mean, those are things of genius.
You have a ton of characters in SMB3. Absolutely.
You have 2.
Yeah, but think of, look at all the power-ups is what I'm saying. Is like, you have a whole bunch of characters right there, and abilities, the music.
But I've got shooting levels in Rayman Legends.
You can get your fireballs and whip them at people. Whip your balls at people. You can whip them. Slap them with your balls.
If I was going to pick a Mario game, nostalgically, that would be Rayman and Mario are not the same franchise. So maybe I think we could have 2 platformers, but then you guys have to duke it out between 3 and World. Although I'm going to side with 3. How about the compromise is Rayman Legends makes it, and so does Super Mario Brothers 3.
I don't know if that's a good deal. We're losing a slot for Rayman Legends.
Well, okay, well, we might have to revisit this one.
All right, table it.
Nobody's going to be happy with that. Yeah, I agree. 2 platformers are tough.
Can we all agree that something different, though? Beat Saber?
Yeah.
Should be on the list. That's something completely different. Can we all
it was my most played game. It was my most played game last year. So yeah.
I can 100% get behind Beat Saber.
Okay, I feel good about that.
Okay.
Wow. See, we do come up with compromises being my choice.
On theoretical situations that don't impact our lives at all.
Right. So Fortnite, definitely off the list. I get it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Cross it off.
Trying to think.
I think Journey and Last of Us are gone.
You think?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, you want that RPG. Persona is the one, right?
It's tough because, Persona is probably the most...
Although Skyrim is probably your thing, right?
That's the hard part, because Persona is the most fun. Skyrim is probably the most biggest adventure, and then Pokemon is just endless.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Pokemon.
So it's tough to pick out of three. One of out of those three.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to give up 2 slots for an RPG. So
no,
but I think an RPG should be present on the list. So
I agree.
I think whichever one
maybe
you feel the strongest
teach me to appreciate them.
Right, you got time.
I'm gonna be reading all the texts, so got that going for me. So Andy, I feel like out of those 3 RPGs, Andy should pick one because you're not an RPG guy. I'm not an RPG guy.
No,
you should pick one for us to enjoy.
I do feel like you are the JRPG guy, so I feel like you'd almost be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't have Persona as your pick.
I know, but at the same time, Persona, if you play it 2 or 3 times, then it might be done. It might be toast at that point.
So
how many different characters do you get in Skyrim? Does it matter?
As many as you want.
Yeah, and you can build them a whole bunch of different ways. So Skyrim might be the most interesting. Pokemon's Pokemon, and that probably would get old after a while. So just by, process of elimination, even if you put those 3 games in front of me to play right now, Skyrim would probably be the last one I'd want to play. But in the scenario, Skyrim might be the best choice.
I'm trying to follow your logic here.
Yeah, it's a tough choice. I would probably drop Persona, even though it's probably the best RPG out of those 3. It's just you'd play it a few times and it'd be done. You'd get it out of it. But let's keep the other 2 on there until.
Okay.
Okay. You decide.
Cross it off the list. Ryan, you got a master list, right?
No.
Oh.
So you guys will have to. Well, yeah, I'm creating what we've got for our list. I didn't write everybody else's down. So whatever people want to advocate for.
Yeah.
But I am running our current list. So we've only settled on 4 so far. So we've still got 6 to go.
I kind of feel that I want to take off Horizon Zero Dawn to make things easier for myself. I just feel like it's not quite a contender.
Yeah, especially if we're tossing out The Last of Us. Those are very similar in feel. Actually,
I'd be okay removing it.
Horizon gets a little bit too close in the GTA Red Dead. So maybe that's a discussion. Like
GTA Red Dead?
One of those games needs to be on the list for sure.
You like GTA because of the raunchiness. It's where you're on a deserted island here.
I like the freedom too, but like I think that decision depends on me for what racing game we put on the list. Because I don't need a bunch of games where I'm spending a ton of times in cars. If I've got like a really good car game, I'll cruise around on a horse, and I guess there was like weak baths at the bathhouse. I'd probably get me hot and bothered after a while on that island anyway. So it's gonna work out. Let's be honest; those strippers' faces
the horse
were a little
might be after a while.
Dead stare. That's true. The dead stare of those strippers' faces in GTA 5 could not do me good long term. Probably
I think it would
mess me up real good.
Damage you.
Yeah. I'd get rescued and fall in love with only mannequins once I return to civilization or something.
He's stuck at JCPenney again. Get him out of there.
So for that reason, I think let's just go with Red Dead, because I think we're going to end up with a racer. I think Red Dead 2.
Do you feel like you can appreciate it that much though after destroying?
Yeah,
if you got sick playing 36 hours, are you going to get sick for the rest of your life?
But I also never went back and explored like 40% of the map.
Yeah.
So I think I could get behind that. I mean, I'd hate myself for having to replay that like 4-hour opening. But I think that's the one. I think it'd be
cool just to get to the end of the game where everything's open and you just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Instead of running through the story.
That reminds me, I don't think I ever finished the epilogue.
It's time to get back to it, buddy.
I'm all right. So we're agreeing that Red Dead 2 makes the list?
Over GTA?
I think I could get behind it. I don't know.
I could go either way. I mean,
I feel that
I see what you're saying about the
GTA
racing game, though. Maybe we decide what racing game we're picking, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
God, we're just painting ourselves in all sorts of corners here.
Yeah, I
does
know.
Super
Okay,
Mario Brothers fall under the Mario Kart fall under a racing game? Can we determine that?
I think it does, and I think it's a weak one. And I think that's why it's not going to make the list, maybe. Potentially.
For which one was it? The Gran Turismo?
Well, so did you have another racing game, Biff?
No.
And Andy, you just had 3, right?
I had Gran Turismo 3, but I don't know if that hangs because it's such a one note racing game, you know.
Do you want to change that for
But it
Forza?
is very detailed. Oh, you're doing an audible and calling in Forza?
Is it Forza 4 Horizon?
Yeah.
Or Horizon 4?
You
Yeah.
could do that.
Boy, you know, I would probably take that. I mean, that would probably be pretty interchangeable. It still has all the cars, and maybe not as simulation as Gran Turismo is, but it still has all the cars, cool cars, the depth. And it still has a lot of that Burnout Paradise in it as well.
Oh yeah, you had Burnout Paradise.
I did, but I'm not sold on that. And that one I know has some elements of the best. I think it's the perfect marriage of our 2 picks. So let's just completely throw logic out the window, bring in a 31st game, and we'll go with
Audible.
So Forza Horizon
4.
4. Okay.
So then that means we're parting with Super Mario Kart 8.
Not necessarily.
Okay. I thought that was the whole logic of this.
No, I think we need like a real racer. So if I've got Forza, I don't know that I'd have to have GTA. I would need an open world game like that from Rockstar, but
I feel like GTA
way.
would be way better. Just you get more interaction with AI and screwing around the city, driving whatever car you want for the most part. It doesn't have the depth of vehicles by any means, but you can do a lot of stupid stuff in that game.
You know, you've played more Red Dead than I have, and I don't remember the first one that much in this regard, but you know, back in the day, GTA really was the let's try and get 5 stars and see how long we last type of thing and see how crazy it gets. Where I don't know, is that a thing in Red Dead? I know you get people after you, but it's not like it doesn't escalate like it does in.
No, it's pretty tame.
Yeah.
So we're taking Red Dead off? Is that?
Yeah. I mean,
But the map is huge.
Yeah.
You're riding a horse.
Do we get GTA Online?
Do we get Red Dead Online? Although that sucks.
But I'm just trying to think variety of gameplay. So you can be on a horse in Red Dead, or you can walk. GTA, you can go under the water, you can go on the water, you can fly, you can drive, you can walk, you can get on motorcycles.
Can you run?
You can run.
Okay. That's a selling point. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're building a good case. I don't have a lot of experience with GTA. I just haven't played it much because my kids are around a lot. So I think I'll be on a desert island. I'd be open to exploring it.
Yeah, I mean, you could spend multiple days like just being like, okay, today let's fuck around on the airport, and today let's fuck up, or in the woods, or or the military base, or all this stuff. And Red Dead kind of has that, but it's still very grounded.
It's very tame. Yeah.
Plus being able to like switch to Trevor and then like have him with pigtails and like panties on out in the woods is always an entertaining surprise.
I say get rid of Red Dead. Let's put GTA where Red Dead's at.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got Red Dead.
I feel
GTA, sorry.
Pretty comfortable with that.
Okay, I can live with that. It's a weird choice because we went down the racing rabbit hole to possibly eliminate the thing, but we still went with it anyway. And we went with a racing game that wasn't on anybody's list, but
right.
Okay.
This is what
making
we do.
Total sense. Welcome
How many
to
games
our
do
podcast.
we have?
So for sure we've got Breath of the Wild, Diablo 3, Minecraft, Beat Saber, Forza, Horizon 4, and GTA 5. So we have 6 right now. Mario Kart's still a question mark.
Could I request Darius Burst moving forward? You got a shooter, some sweet Japanese music, bullet hell, giant enemies, a rumbling sub face down on it, Howard Stern style.
I don't know. I love that game.
I'm not building a great case for it.
A shooter, I just think like
you'd get the pattern down.
Yeah, but how many times do you go back and play it? You go to Pixeled, and how many quarters do you throw in?
Yeah, like all of them. Well, I have it on Steam now, so I don't have to do that, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on that yet.
Okay. I'll back off a little bit.
How about Smash Brothers Ultimate? Objections to that one?
No, it's about the only fighting game that we have on there.
I would take it above Mario Kart.
Okay. So
I don't know about that.
But it's
I
the
just don't get
all-inclusive.
excited about Smash as much as you guys do.
But you're never going to get every Nintendo game, and this will at least give you a visual interpretation of all
But I
of your
feel
favorite
like if we
characters.
pick Smash, we're cutting out Super Mario Brothers 3 for sure, because then we got the Mario already taken care of.
Not necessarily.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, I'll get behind it. We don't have a fighting game. Andy, you're smirking. Your nipples just got hard after that. You're like,
I was just
oh,
gonna
yeah.
say that Mario 3's get cut because Rayman's better.
I feel like we're not gonna come to an agreement, but again, it's 2 versus 1, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of in a hard spot because I'm out of things I really need to fight for on here. I could live without Halo.
So we got rid of Super Mario Kart. Don't need
It's
that.
still on the list right now. We tentatively we have 7. With that one, tentatively it'd be 8.
Oh,
But
I think Mega Man 2, get it off the list. I don't care about that.
okay,
So I have 2 left on my list. I have Super Mario Brothers 3 and Darius Burst Chronicles. Those are the 2 on my list. I don't think Darius is going to make the cut.
What are some things you really need to fight for, Andy?
How far does Civilization go?
I could get behind that. I could get behind that being the perfect.
I'd much
Desert
rather have
Island
it
game.
SimCity 2000 than that game.
No.
I've never played Civilization, but the cover makes me look like I hate it.
Yeah, just for the time warp aspect that you brought up and how those games do that, it's almost worth it right there. And those campaigns can be pretty challenging. It's got a good humor.
Civilization does?
Yeah. The newer ones. I mean, the original ones were a little more, strategy, but by Civ 4 you had interesting like dialogue and things.
So we have 2 spots open or 3?
With Mario tentative, we have 3. Mario Kart 8 tentative. Well, we still need to get one of your RPGs on here too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to go with Pokemon. I think Skyrim, there'd be a lot of crossover with like GTA. Like the same type of open world.
So
Go explore shit. I feel like I would get a lot of that out of the GTA. So I think I'm fine cutting Skyrim.
And I guess if you feel that Pikachu is, I don't know, attractive, that if you want to go down that road, if you're into that kind of stuff.
Oh, there's way more attractive ones than Pikachu. But
right, like Squirtle.
yeah.
Dugtrio. So which Pokemon was this?
Pokemon Fire Red.
Okay. We let you have your RPG on there. Get out of the way. That one will for sure be buried in the sand somewhere on that island. Where
think
did
I
I put that?
The battery will die and I'll never be able to save it again.
I think I'm for cutting Mario Kart 8. I think it is like an unbalanced game. And you'd get so good at it that, to Andy's point, you'd just be getting bombarded by blue shells and you'd just be driving around with that horn thing for hours with nobody to challenge you.
You don't have to play it for hours in a row. You can get good slow. We have 2 spots open. But
we both picked Mario Kart 8, so it almost like has to be there, but I don't know.
Yeah, but now you're wavering because it pisses me off.
Here, I'm going to make a proposition.
I'm into deals.
You can have Darius burst. If we take Mario Kart 8 off, Andy gets Civ 4, and I get Rayman Legends.
So I'm going on a desert island. I don't like this deal. Like, I don't like this deal at all. I think Super Mario Brothers 3 is superior than Darius Burst.
Well, then why do you want to fight for Darius Burst so bad?
Because he wants both on there.
Because I want both on there. Duh. Did you just pick Rayman Legends just to be different? I feel like you did that on purpose.
I partially went for it because I knew it would irritate you, but I also knew Andy respects that game as much as I do.
So you wanted to create a little fun gang right now.
I really came to the conclusion that I wanted a platformer for sure, and that is a top tier, excellent one.
I feel like our listeners are going to kill you. And if they agree with you, then I quit. I'm done. You won't see me on 101. That was a really heavy threat. Sorry, I take it back.
Rayman isn't quite as tight as Mario controls.
You hear that? Mario's tight.
I forgot we still got World in the running here, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that garbage.
I don't know. I think Nate has more passion for 3 than I do for World, so.
But we got to get past Legends.
World has more levels too in total, doesn't it? Maybe not. I'd have to look, but.
Yeah, I don't remember. But I
still think if I'm going to pick up a platformer, I don't know.
Man, I'm going back and forth because, Mario has a lot more ideas and variety. Whereas Rayman, you have worlds.
You have Toad in a mushroom.
You have shooter levels. You got music levels. You've got touchscreen controls in the Wii U.
This one's bugging me.
I mean, if we're going to do this, if we're going to do this and really waffle about it, we're just going with World. That way, I still piss Nate off. Get a game I kind of like.
Jerk. Oh man, you are a jerk. Okay, let's table that still. So we got 2 spots left.
Potentially. I mean, we're at 9 with Mario Kart 8. So are we taking Mario
Kart 8?
Not officially. Have we officially? I think we should.
Yeah, cut it. I'll cut it.
Okay, it's gone. Mario Kart 8. Gone.
And we put Forza in, right?
Yeah.
Number 31.
The one that doesn't make any sense, but
I don't know.
It does make sense from a combined ideas perspective.
Okay, yeah, teamwork. So we got 2 spots left. Is there any heavy hitters on the list that you feel like we need to tackle outside of Super Mario Brothers 3 making the list?
The only one left on my list is Mario World. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you got left?
I mean, I had Pro Skater 2 and Halo that we talked about, but I can't really. I don't have to have either of those.
Are you really hanging on to Legends that much? Are you legitimate? Take me out of the equation. Are you hanging on to Legends that much?
But I could. It depends on what else we're putting on the list.
Well, it sounds like we have Legends, World, and Mario Brothers 3.
We got 2 spots to fill.
Oh, yeah.
Where did Smash land? Is that off?
We put it on.
Okay.
Civilization.
It
Is that
didn't
on?
make it yet officially.
Well, I feel like that's got to go on.
So right now
even
we've
though
got
I've never played it, but
Breath
I
of the
feel-
Wild, Diablo 3, Minecraft, Beat Saber, Forza Horizon 4, GTA 5, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Pokemon Fire Red.
You want a game like Civilization?
I don't know. Because I'm not a fan of Pokemon either. So I'd have like 2 games that I'm like, but I do
Super Mario Brothers 3 and
I
Rayman
do like
Legends.
Civilization a lot.
There are 2 spots are right there.
Which one?
Our 2 spots are right there. Super Mario Brothers 3 and Rayman Legends. Boom. List is done. We got 2 great platformers. We don't have to argue anymore. You can go over and watch Rayman Legends and beat it to that. And
What about Super Mario 3D World? And then you get one with a 3 in it, plus Bowser's Fury.
Get that garbage out. You can't do that. It's a compilation.
No, it's
It's
not.
a compilation.
It's DLC.
Compilation.
You're a compilation.
What about, okay,
You could get really
take
into
everything
the theming
out.
with
Mario
Sunshine.
64. Why isn't there a 64 game on this list?
There's a reason.
It's obvious.
All right, we got 2 spots, boys. Let's go.
Hold on, I gotta look at something.
Are you going back to look at some screenshots of that Super Mario Brothers 3? Level.
So let's say we're down to 3 to cover 2.
Essentially. Well, Civilization 2 is in there.
How about this? Here's something I can get behind. What if we go with Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, plus you get an e-reader and all the cards.
Oh my gosh.
It's the graphically enhanced version. It has additional levels.
You
It
can't
looks a
throw
little prettier.
audibles. I'm just joking.
Yeah, but I can be playing Pokemon. Where are you going to get your Game Boy?
Hmm.
You know what? I feel
Fine.
like
I'll give you. I'm just gonna give up. I'll give you Super Mario Brothers 3.
yes, stubbornness wins. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you negotiate. You don't give an inch.
So we got 1 spot left.
You don't give an inch.
You got an inch
Yeah?
in your pants.
Yeah, I do.
I don't feel good about that because I think Rayman's a better platformer, but
No, Andy agrees with me. Super Mario Brothers 3 is superior.
well, you be the final one then. Andy, what do we do?
Out of
Civilization for the very last
Rayman
ones.
or Civ?
Rayman, Super Mario Brothers, or World? Did we make the right call there? Because you could sway it.
You could. It's a 2-1. That's what we need. Hey, buddy, I appreciate you, right?
You can't trust him. He's wearing a Mario Brothers shirt.
In the taste of all of us, I think we'd all have fun with Mario 3.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever played Rayman Legends, Biff?
No, I have no interest.
This is
It's tough,
This is
yeah.
bullshit.
I could
'Cause
see
you don't
somebody not
realize-
liking that game, though.
What's not to like? Fine, whatever.
It's
we'll just
good.
go with that
No.
one.
I mean, if you want that Rayman Legends and you guys can both agree on it, it's on you. Okay. Our massive listening audience will come after you guys. I'm just saying, because everybody knows the more superior game. But if you want Rayman Legends, I'll give it a shot. That's fine. But just know that I wash my hands.
Let's let Metacritic decide. Hold
Boy.
on.
Do you think Mario 3's on there? I don't know.
I bet some. Yeah, maybe that's a good point.
You could probably do the Game Boy
Legends.
one is probably on there.
Should we just flip a coin and decide that way at this point?
Gosh, it's tough. It's got a 92% rating.
Which one?
Rayman Legends.
Oh. So that means Mario's probably like a 92.5. Just a half more.
We'll see.
Come on.
Is the fact that they made a movie about it swaying your opinion?
The Rayman Legends? Did they make a movie?
No,
I'm just
Mario
joking.
3.
Yeah.
So the Super
Biggest
Mario
franchise.
Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3 has a 94% on Metacritic, but that's not the one you're advocating for, correct?
No, I'm advocating for 3. Because I don't want the card reader. Doesn't work all the time. I think Andy has to be the dividing choice. We're sitting here. I got Super Mario Brothers 3. You got Rayman Legends. Andy appreciates both. Andy, go for it. And I won't hate you.
I will hate Jeff forever.
Andy,
So, man, shit.
come on, buddy. You break the tie to whatever you want and just know that you had to do what you had to do.
Are we really not going to put Mario on a list?
He's in Smash.
Yeah. Oh,
Is Raymond in Smash?
Nope.
he should be.
Okay. I
They
wouldn't be
realize he's too good, so they don't want to bring him into that universe.
Yeah, but he's only a 92. The weight is on your shoulders, Andy. The world is waiting. What do you got?
I think if I wanted to play a game, if I was on an island or not, it'd probably be Rayman.
I hate you. I hate this game. This is the dumbest game ever. All right, fine. I hate you guys. I'm done. I won't be here the next episode.
Well, we have one more spot, don't we?
Oh, I'm back.
Yes.
I love Super Mario Bros.
So
No,
if you guys
I think
can,
that was our last spot, right?
We're at 9.
Why did we fight so much for 9 when we have
Because
an
we
open
were
spot?
going to put Civ 4 on there.
Oh yeah,
potentially
Civ
as
4 was
10.
in there.
so
Dang it, we have a full list. And you didn't put Super Mario Brothers 3. Ladies and gentlemen, I wash my hands. I don't even know these guys. I don't even know them.
unless you guys can fight, say Super Mario 3 above Civ 4, I'm fine with that too. But
I feel like there's no other game like Civ. You're going to get a nice round
Yeah.
list.
So, yeah, I'll put Civ 4 as 10.
I don't even know you anymore.
And what about we cut Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and put Mario Bros. 3 on there?
Wow, that's a great compromise.
I would actually go for that. I mean, I like Smash a lot, but
Was that
I
your
did-
plan the whole time, right?
No, but the more I thought about it and the only playing solo,
Yeah.
we'll go with that.
Yes! We made the list! I'll be back for 101.
All right. So for everyone who's somehow maybe marginally followed along in this train wreck of a conversation, the collective list of 10 games that Weekend Rental Podcast would have with them on a desert island to play the rest of our miserable lives would be in no particular order: Breath of the Wild, Diablo 3, Rayman Legends,
Oh my gosh.
Minecraft, Beat Saber, Forza Horizon 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, Super Mario Brothers 3, Pokemon Fire Red, and Civ 4. And that is as weird and messed up as a list as I've seen
As
in
this
any
podcast
magazine.
is.
we've gone full circle. I mean, we started this podcast making fun of a lot of these top 10 or top 100 lists. We're like, how could you do this? These guys are pathetic. Here we are
We-
making a list exactly like them.
Yes, to celebrate 100 episodes, we may have made the worst one of them all.
Classic weekend rental fashion here.
We don't have a first-person shooter. We don't have a single first-person shooter on here. I feel like we screwed up somewhere.
I think it was around Civ.
I don't know.
Halo on there? I don't know.
Halo I couldn't make an argument for. This is all right.
Okay, so let's now narrow it. Let's narrow it down to 5 now.
No, we're done. It took an hour.
An hour of deliberations. It was.
If you're listening, let us know what made you want to scream at us, what we should have put on there, what you would have put on there. I'm curious. Let us know how badly we screwed up, or if you agree. I doubt anyone can agree with. I can barely agree with this list, and I contributed to it. So,
but please play Rayman Legends before contacting us.
Please, yes, give it a legit shot.
I'll give it a legit shot.
Andy and I are not crazy. It is.
What is it on? GameCube?
It's on everything.
Oh, okay.
You can get it for Switch, man. Get the deluxe edition on Switch.
All right. I'll give it a go.
If you haven't played it, it is a delightful platformer, and I wish Ubisoft would just make a legit sequel instead of porting it to everything, but it's fantastic. And it's a 4-player couch co-op game. It's awesome. It's awesome. Civ 4.
Easy. I didn't know this was a Rayman Legends commercial. Jeez.
Wow, this list. All right. That was fun. So
hey, I'm just excited that we all had one that was on all of our lists. Like I was scared that there would be like not one unanimous, but
yeah, we had a couple that were pretty easy.
And I think we should preface this isn't our top 10 favorite games that we're throwing out.
No, exactly.
No. I think most of the time what we were looking for is what can I play the most,
right,
and not get sick of it.
It's all about longevity. And there's a million games that I hold near dear to my heart that I'd rank higher as favorite games, but they aren't things that I can play endlessly. They're experiences that I'll come back to on occasion, or maybe, a lot of my favorite gaming experiences are things that just were powerful one time through, right? Mm-hmm. And like that's all you need in some cases. But if I've got nothing to do for the rest of my life on an island, those games just don't make the list. So yeah, it's a cool list. Honestly, there's a little bit of something there for everybody, so it's neat.
That's why we did it.
Except for sports fans, fuck them.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's not even a mini game. You could make your own sports games in like GTA, right? You could just be like, how far can I hit this random person on the street across with a bat? Like I got 10 feet that time.
You can do that in real life too, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Be hitting coconuts with a bat anyway, so...
Well, we did throw some feelers out there and ask for feedback, comments, anything like that for the 100th episode in case anybody wanted to bring some stuff up. So I don't know. We can touch on that. Biff, do you have the email stuff pulled up?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I don't have those emails.
Okay. Well, you have access to that email inbox, but I can go through it. It's fine.
Do my job for me. Sorry.
Yes. No, you're good. I just didn't know if you had them ready or not. Sometimes you do. So on Twitter, we did get some feedback from friend of the podcast, Cestus. Question: how does it feel to have lasted a century?
About how it should feel. Too long, right?
Yeah. It's crazy to think it's been, we do this podcast. Well, we did do it weekly for a while, every 2 weeks. So really 100 episodes has taken us 4 years. Lineup changes, damn near shutting it down on more than one occasion. And just the way the show, like the iterations, I think we were so long in the tooth when we started, 2.5 hour episodes, multiple segments. And like it's amazing we've gotten here. We've boiled it down to basically a one take show, which is still fun to do, but yeah, it's crazy to think.
Yeah. For how long that we became from the beginning. Yeah.
And just my short time with you guys, a lot has changed.
So. You've done 70 of these episodes, haven't you? Somewhere around there. When did you come on? 30 something?
36.
Yeah, it sounds
Does
about
that sound
right.
right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. So a lot has changed. I mean, it's still something that I look forward to. And you get to sit and just talk video games with your friends. I think it's pretty cool. So 100 episodes, I think, is a pretty sweet milestone.
Mm-hmm. You know, back when we started, you guys were regular millennials. And now you're no longer
geriatric now.
Yeah. And you had half the amount of kids that you do now. So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, then that's a big thing to say too, is like how much our lives personally have changed too, and how that relates to the gaming and what we can put into the show. And
yeah,
stuff
the
like
content
that.
has shifted.
Yep. But I don't think we've lost a step or anything like that. But
no, it's still fun.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, we've gotten better at riffing off each other at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
I personally can't imagine us making 200 episodes, but maybe we'll be doing this in another 100 episodes. The 8 years of this would be just kind of, I can't imagine, but I'm happy we hit 100. I'll say that.
Yep.
So go to emails here. We had Justin, as we mentioned, he was the first, one of the first guys with us. He was number 3 before Nate came in, part of our original trio for the first year and a half-ish. Justin emailed in just to say Nickelback is better than Foo Fighters. And this is the last time we shall speak of Justin on this podcast.
He is dead to us.
Completely.
Look at this photograph. I like it up and makes me laugh. I don't know how that's all the words.
Up my ass. That's not how the song goes, probably.
Oh, man.
And we got episode 100. So this is a friend of the podcast. Brandon sent us an email. He says, "Hey guys, congrats on 100 episodes. I always look forward to listening to each new episode and hearing what you guys are up to and all the news, your thoughts, and of course the Byron Burns and trivia." So he's got a bunch of questions. I'm not going to read through them all. We'll go through them one by one. He says, maybe you've already covered some of this, or will be. So if you already mentioned any of this, feel free to skip it. But he wants to know, question number 1.
Where do babies come from?
How much time do we have? So first question is
2 minutes.
Favorite, funniest, or stupidest conversation? Oh, gosh.
Oh, heck yeah.
Man.
There's too many.
There's so many. I would say the fiddle diddle.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
The fiddle diddle conversation. That's good. And if you've missed that episode, go back and find it. Because fiddle diddle is food, but apparently fiddle diddle for Ryan means fiddle diddling
and fiddle
yourself.
diddle is not food. Fiddle faddle is the food. That's why the whole conversation's so ridiculous.
No, it's fiddle diddle.
No.
There's no such thing as fiddle faddle. That conversation was funny. I still always go back to the time that my very first episode with you guys is jumping online shirtless for you guys and just making you crack up. That one still.
That was pretty great.
That set the tone for the podcast.
It was good stuff.
Oh.
So I was blinded, by the paleness.
You were blinded. That was in my old basement with the wood background, so my skin just kind of like blended in with that pine.
Yeah,
your
like the
nipples
Zoom
look
calls
like
now
naughty
would
pine.
be like not even work. Ryan, I really appreciate some of your rants sometime. I think one of my favorite is the 2 cheeseburger meal at McDonald's.
Yes. That's what I was going to bring up too. That McDonald's rant was so epic. And if anyone's missed that, you can go to our YouTube channel, and I think it's just called, there's a 2-minute clip just called the McDonald's incident, where I get really heated about the fact that I could no longer get 2 cheeseburgers in a combo meal, but they brought it back. So,
It worked.
It worked. Thanks to Weekend Rental.
That is really funny.
I would say too, like one of our earlier things, that whole conversation and episode on David Crane's Amazing Movie Time about rubber has to be one of the most fascinating and frustrating things that we've ever talked about on this show.
Yeah. And if you thought, teaming up over Rayman Legends was bad, it was me and Justin going to bat for rubber. And
I just
Ryan losing his mind.
I couldn't do it. Like, I'm the guy who's like, I consume media that is completely stupid and takes me out of the real world because that's where I want media to take me. And I could not fathom what you two saw. It was, it was like watching like a black and white silent era art film where everyone's like, oh, and they're seeing things. And I'm like, I'm not getting this at all. And you two just went on and on about all these amazing choices that they made. And I don't know. I don't know that I can get behind the choices. I think it was just a train wreck that they assembled into a movie.
I was a listener at that time, so I remember that.
Yep.
Oof.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of great guests on our show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rob was pretty good. He cut out that part where he was talking about pedophilia. That was it was funny. And then Pocket Rocket Radio, that guy, like the crap that came out of his mouth was hysterical. It always is. And and some of the highlights more recently, like getting to talk with Still Change Gamer, those guys were great.
Mm-hmm.
The interview we did with Patrick.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff sticks out. And a lot of it gets forgotten. Like, it's weird to say that we listen to our own podcast, but like I do, because we have such short, or at least I have such short-term memory. I completely forget by the time an episode comes out what the conversation was.
Right.
Which has kind of bit me in the ass a few times because we'll be like on a family trip and I'm talking about what a ding dong my son is, and he's in the back seat and he's like, "Hey!" I'm like, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, and just like going in the past, like I'm pretty certain at least once we've played a Buy Rent Burn game more than once in Buy Rent Burn. And I don't remember which one it was, but it just felt so similar that I'm like,
I feel like if anybody knows, it's Brandon.
Yeah.
He has the whole analytics of who has chosen what.
I want to say we played Sunrise twice. I think we did it with Brandon once, or not Brandon. I think we did it with Justin once. I think we did it that last episode. And to your point, we did the Mean Bean Machine plus the Puyo Puyo. And I'm sure there's been a couple others. Yeah. So let's move on to his next question. He's like, what were your favorite Buy Rent Burn games?
D-Force.
And this one kind of goes along with it. We can kind of combine it. His next question is, and what was the best one that you weren't previously aware of and discovered that you thought was good? So let's kind of go hand in hand.
Oh, man.
I'm always kind of partial to the TurboGrafx.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
Because like even when you play a bad TurboGrafx game, they're usually pretty interesting, at least.
Except the one bad one that we'll not talk about. But yeah,
we'll bring that. That we can get it. That's another question too, because he also asked which was your worst, so we can just expand it. And yes, that one that Justin picked where we played that. What is it? The U-42 like ship commander thing.
Oh yeah, gunboat. No, I don't remember what it was called. Gunboat, right?
Yeah, Gunboat. There you go. And it just took me like 5 minutes to figure out how to get through the menu to start the game. And then you get in there and it's just like moving at 1 frame a second.
Yeah.
And then that dumpster fire that Biff brought, Deep Blue. The game is
You're a dumpster
disaster.
fire. You're a dumpster fire. D-Force was probably the worst game.
D-Force?
That was a Super Nintendo. This. And when the guy falls out of the plane, it's like, ah! You don't remember that?
No.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
That one's pretty bad.
I would say that TurboGrafx, I kind of lean into TurboGrafx as some of my favorite ones to check out, just because very unfamiliar and you never know what you're going to get. But when we did a Halloween special and I played Splatterhouse for the first time for a Buy Rent Burn, that was awesome. I that was just something that I'll definitely remember for a while. Is just you feel so powerful walking up to people and just smacking them with a bat, and the controls were really good and the sound was perfect, and that was one that really stuck out in my mind. Which it's a very well known game, but for me it was something new.
Yeah, it's it's kind of funny because when we do a lot of these buy rent burns, it's seldom like the US games we find that are hidden gems, but like a lot of the import stuff, I think is kind of what I like that you picked YY World 2, right? One time, Andy. It's like a platformer. I thought that was really good. So much so that I was like trying to find Etsy, like, ROM version, like somebody put on an NES cart. And actually I was just looking at the vinyl soundtrack for that game right before we got on the podcast too. So I thought that one was really cool. I wish that would have come to the US, but it's neat to discover it through Buy Rent Burn. I know we kind of discovered it before Buy Rent Burn, but the Lone Ranger I would put up there is one that I thought was like, oh wow, I really wish I knew about this game as a kid.
I'd put the Master of Darkness, I think it was, on Master System, which was basically Castlevania. That was one that really threw. And for whatever reason, Power Pigs for Super Nintendo. I don't know why I like that game so much. I enjoyed that game.
What's the full title of that one? Power Pigs, the...
Oh man, I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
What's that?
The medieval, something medieval, or... Yeah, I don't recall. That
sounds right. That Genesis game too, that was like amazing. Growl. That game fucking rules. Like just that whole sequence with that elephant just stomping bits of people all over the place was so good.
That game is hilarious.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't so expensive. Yeah,
we definitely found some good ones. And I think you kind of get that from, because we never went out of our way to pick the ones everybody knows about.
Right. Yeah. And there's a lot of stinkers too. I'm just trying to think of some other ones that I just couldn't stand, but I feel like there was a lot of Game Boy stuff that was not good.
Oh yeah.
Mohawk and headphone jack. That one was.
Oh gosh.
I still want to throw up when I think about that game.
That game sucks.
Uniracers is pretty awful too.
You shut up. That's a great game. I hate you. Get me so riled up. I calm down after Super Mario Brothers and I go right back into getting pissed.
All right. Let's see what else he had for us. So he says, of the worst, like which is the one that you would want to scoop up from the ashes and burn it all over again? And I think that's Mohawk and headphone jack.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Unquestioned.
Yeah.
You could scoop that up and make it a more playable game though, too. You just changed.
I don't think anybody should put the time into that.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Ugh, that was a bad one. Well, I think that's it for comments and questions. I mean, I appreciate everyone, Cestus, Justin, Brandon, for taking the time to send those in. Any closing conversations, thoughts, revelations since the last episode before we wrap the 100th?
It's just amazing that we lasted this long,
Weird. That's what my wife says sometimes.
I was going to do it. You beat me to it.
I did it for you.
Yeah, and I think, we do this show because it's something we enjoy doing. We get to hang out, and, it means a lot when we find out that people enjoy the show too. In a podcast, you're kind of living in a vacuum a lot of the time. So I just really want to take a moment, to say thank you to everyone who listens and is stuck with this crazy thing. New listeners, that's awesome. We enjoy doing this, and it's great to know that there are people out there that enjoy listening to it as well. And we always love hearing from everyone. Whether it's meeting up with them at conventions or getting the odd comment on social media or email. Can't thank you guys enough, I guess.
Yep.
I second, or no, you said, yeah, I third that. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about, but we'll try to hang in there. We got 100 down. Nobody's going anywhere right now, so
we got one more to go.
There will be at least a next episode. How's that sound? That is a promise. That is a weekend rental guarantee.
I like it.
Want to take us out?
Sure. Why not? Let me do that. Friends, thank you so much for listening to us. 100 episodes. And for the people at the very beginning, that's 4 years of your life that you've spent listening to us. So we're so really grateful for you. Make sure that you're following us on all of our social media. Send us your list. If you were on a desert island, you got 10 games. Play that game with your friends. Let us know what you come up with. You can send that list to weekendrentalpodcast@gmail.com. Again, make sure you're following us on all of our social media, Twitter, Facebook. We don't have Instagram. Don't even go there. It doesn't even matter. I still say that every episode. And you can find all things Weekend Rental at weekendpodcast.com. Friends, be kind. Rewind.
Whoa, Black Betty, banana now.
100 bananas.
Rayman Legends sucks.